complacent. We got a little bit too cocky, and Boston College exploited it.
Lucas Oseda will kick off. Toe meets leather, and this rivalry on Tobacco Road is underway. With NC State having the ball first, we'll get a chance to see C.J. Bailey, the true freshman from Chaminade, Madonna, in South Florida, high school powerhouse. And Bailey was thrust into the starting role when Grayson McCall, the transfer from Coastal Carolina, had to retire from football after making 4 starts earlier this year.
Yeah, and offensive coordinator Robert Anai talks about C.J. Bailey and his ability to come in and connect with the players. He just had this personality about him that gave his wide receivers, gave his offensive line, gave his running backs this subtle confidence in him. And when he was able to get out on the field after that injury, he displayed it. He has great accuracy when throwing the football and can use his legs when needed.
Bailey's going to use his legs here on first down and get stopped after picking up maybe a yard on the outside. It's Elijah Huzzy making the tackle from his cornerback spot.
Well, C.J. Bailey, he will use his legs in the ground game, but they have 3 running backs, Kendrick Raphael, Jordan Waters, and Hollywood Smothers, that they want to distribute the ball relatively evenly to their run game. They want to establish the run early, but they also have threats at the wide receiver position, namely number 10, Casey Concepcion.
Hollywood Smothers is in the game now, but they spread him out wide, so an empty backfield on 2nd down and 9. Bailey to throw. Pocket collapses. He steps up. He's going to try and get something with his feet and picks up maybe 4 before being dropped at the 30. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5. That was Kevin Hester, nose tackle, who defensive coordinator Jeff Collins said is the best defensive lineman in the ACC. There he is, big old number 98.
He had a great game last week. 10 tackles, a sack, a TFL, a fumble recovery. Jeff Collins loves big number 98.
3rd down and 5. Carolina showing some pressure. And they come with it up the middle. Bailey, though, has it deflected and incomplete. It was Javari Ritzy who applied the pressure and got one of those big mitts up to knock the pass down.
Yeah, Javari Ritzy, number 5 on the left side of your screen. He gets you the double team and just gets his hands up. Good job knocking down the pass. And just really not much going for NC State. We talked about the slow starts that they've had throughout this season. UNC, the defensive line, made a couple big plays on that first opening series.
Caden Noonkester will punt it away for NC State. Elijah Huzzy. And it goes off the side of Noonkester's foot. Get a good NC State bounce, though, so it won't be nearly as ugly as it looked. 32 yards on the punt, nothing on the return. And for North Carolina offensively, well, it all revolves around Omarion Hampton.
Yeah, and just, he's the best back in the ACC, one of the best backs in college football, and he doesn't do it with flash. I mean, yes, he does make flashy runs, but it's the downhill, solid vision, patient running that he provides for this offense that creates this stable entity in the backfield. When things go wrong, hand number 28 the football, and he can make a play.
Exactly what Jacolby Criswell does here, but it's NC State making the play defensively. Davin Vann from his defensive end spot drops Hampton for no gain.
Yeah, Davin Vann, he's just been a stud on this defensive front for NC State for a long time, playing in his last regular season game wearing the red and white, and he has had a phenomenal year. He is a disruptive force on that defensive front for NC State.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. Criswell to throw. Underneath, incomplete. Try to get it to Nate McCollum. Defended on the play by T-Mac Cooley. And there's a good look at Jacolby Criswell. Began his career in North Carolina, transferred to Arkansas, and then transferred back after spring practice this year.
Yeah, and he called Mack Brown up, and said, hey, when I come back, am I going to be the starter? Mack Brown said, no, you're going to be the 3rd guy. They had Max Johnson, who was a transfer in, going to start this season. Well, Jacolby Criswell's in there now and has been the starter for quite some time at UNC.
Empty backfield on 3rd and 10. Criswell now trying to move the pocket, has time, has a receiver downfield. It's tipped up in the air, and it goes incomplete. Again, Cooley defending on the play, and both teams forced to 3 and outs here early.
T-Mac Cooley just does a great job from that nickel position. He identifies the crosser that's open and gets his body in front of it. The pass was a little bit behind where Jacolby Criswell wanted to throw the football. But you see back-to-back 3-and-outs, and I think there's a lot of emotion. And a lot of times when you're in these rivalry games, defenses step up first. Let's see if these offenses can settle down and get in their rhythm.
Tom McGinnis will put a toe into it. It's a low kick through the wind. Coit isn't going to go very far. Jalen Coit made the catch, picked up maybe a yard on the return. NC State with their second offensive possession of the game when we come back. Scoreless here in Chapel Hill. Second down and 5. Bailey the fake to Waters. He's going to keep it first down and a lot more. Out beyond the 40-yard line. First down, first of the game for the Wolfpack. Let's continue what to watch for here. Brought to you by Super.
Line of win versus loss.
Concepcion was in motion that time. Bailey's looking his way. Going to have to avoid the rush. Can't do it. Desmond Evans brings him down. And the first sack of the day for the Tar Heels.
See Desmond Evans off the left-hand side, just kind of slow playing the RPO game and gets upfield. It was just a really good job on coverage by Omarion Hampton, number 17, who picked up Justin Jolie, who was leaking out into the flat, and there was nowhere to go with the ball for C.J. Bailey.
5th sack of the year for Evans. A loss of 4 on the play. Play clock inside of 5 as Bailey changes it up again. Just gets the play off in time. And he has all kinds of time, and he has a receiver. That's Dakari Collins. Makes the catch. Picks up a chunk of the yards lost on that sack, and then some before Jakeem Harris ran him out. Former NC State Wolfpack Jakeem Harris. And these players really know each other, don't they? Even have players that have played on both teams in this game.
I know, it's crazy. They either played on the same teams and transferred, or some played on the same high school teams.
Third down and 7.
UNC's mugging their linebackers up in the line of scrimmage.
And they bring all kinds of pressure. Bailey has a receiver. That's a nice catch by Collins. Had to go behind him to get it, and he picked it up first down. Got a flag on the play. We're going to check the marker. It's way in the backfield where Bailey threw it.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense. Number 23. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. First down.
Jerry Magalatis, our referee today, letting us know it was Power Eccles guilty of the infraction.
Yeah, well, Power Eccles was walked up in the line of scrimmage. You see 23 just right on over that guard. He loops around the left side and just gets there a little bit late. Right here, you just can't lay the shoulder into the quarterback. It was really the first true pressure inside the pocket that UNC has gotten. But Power Eccles, he just needs to calm down a little bit and lay off the hit.
Interesting formation here. Concepcion in the backfield. He takes the handoff and flips the other side. Looks like he wants to throw it. Speed can't outrun the North Carolina defense. Dropped for a loss by Omarion Hampton. Cayman Rutgers shaken up on the play as well on the near side.
Injured defensive player.
We keep an eye on him as Campbell showed his speed in tracking down Concepcion from behind for the TFL. We'll take a quick break. Get you caught up on Cayman Rutgers condition when we come back. break for Kamen Rucker, the senior on senior day. 22 career sacks. He just moved past Lawrence Taylor on the all-time sack list in North Carolina. That's a big deal, and this is a big deal that Carolina's going to lose him. It looks like the rest of the way.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's also insane that he broke LT's deal. You see on the left bottom of your screen, you have the cut block by Timothy McKay.
And Mack doesn't like it. Crowd here seeing it on the Jumbotron. They don't like it as well, but when you think about Rucker not being engaged, it's not an illegal cut block. I don't believe it is. Those rules change quite often, so we'll get a confirmation on that. Bailey has all kinds of time now as a receiver down the slot. Knocked away at the last second. Wesley Grimes was the intended receiver all the way down near the goal line, but Jakeem Harris did a nice job of knocking the ball away.
Yeah, and he had him the seam route vertically. That was one that Wesley Grimes has been good at making contested catches this year. And that is a big drop. Tough catch, but one Wesley Grimes is capable of. And a third down and long. Defensive coordinator Jeff Collins has his prowler package in. It's his rush package. See the guys around the line of scrimmage.
Now they bring Waters back into the backfield to supply a little support. Bailey's going to run. And he's nowhere near the first down marker before Huzzy knocks him out of bounds. We do have a marker, though. That was an 8-yard gain. Let's check the marker on the far side. There you see Jerry Magellanes. He and his crew participating in No Shave November for the American Cancer Society for multiple myeloma. So good job, Jerry.
Holding offense, number 7. 10-yard penalty. Replay, third down.
Holding call going to go against NC State. Mack Brown opting to take the penalty to move him back out of field goal range. See the right side of your screen. What a little hook there on the defender.
Yeah, kind of lucky for UNC that was actually called a holding call, but just because a poor choice of going underneath the blocker by the defender. But now they're back outside of field goal range.
It's third and Gastonia here at the 48 for NC State. Screen pass defended beautifully. Bo Atkinson was ready for it the entire time, and it'll force another punt for NC State.
You know, I've been impressed with Bo Atkinson, and he's only a true sophomore right here from Raleigh. And his motor, just watching him on film, he is an energetic guy. Every time he comes in the game, usually on third downs, he makes a difference in the game. That time he read that screen perfectly. And because of that penalty, NC State's forced to punt rather than have a field goal.
Noonkester into the wind, and he gets it away, and it's high, and it's going to force a fair catch from Huzzy at his own 13, and that's where North Carolina takes over after the 35-yard kick. It is a little bit of a breezy day today. Just going into Noonkester's face on that punt. We finally have some good football weather. Of course, Coley Harvey might not agree with us. Thinks it might be a little chilly. I think this is just perfect.
Well, just perfect right now. Once that sun dips down,
he's just saying shut
below
up.
the horizon, Coley is going to be feeling it.
Yeah, and angry at us for being in this nice warm booth. Omarion Hampton needs to start feeling it. Hadn't gone off to a great start here. They haven't been able to get him going. He's going to get another opportunity here. And he finds some room. Still on his feet. Still going out to the 33 before finally being dropped down, and a late flag to boot. 19 yards on the run, and let's check the marker.
during the run. Personal foul. Illegal blindside block. Offense, number 13. 15-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
That call is going to go against receiver J.J. Jones, wearing the Tylee Craft number 13 today.
That negates a huge run from Omarion Hampton. It was really a huge play for UNC's offense. See here, watching this is well after the play, and I don't know about. I mean, that is.
It's more like an illegal blindside nudge as opposed to a block.
Yep.
It's not much to it, but
Brandon Cleveland did a good job of falling down. 315 pounds falling down. People hear that.
It was enforced from the 32, so it's 1st and 7. Now we get another whistle and an official timeout. I guess they want to make sure the spot is right. They got an issue with the chain gang, and Mack wants to use the opportunity for an explanation.
The chains were not set. It's 1st down and 7 after enforcement of the penalty.
Magallanes with the explanation. Mack Brown not happy with the explanation. Incredulous.
Well, I don't think he cares about the 3 yards. I think he cares about the fact that he barely bumped him, but there you go.
So it's 1st and 7 after the 19-yard run and the 15-yard mark off. That time they got it to Nate McCollum. Put in a lot of effort to pick up 2 yards. Kamal Bonner was there on the stop. McCollum, another senior, walked earlier today on senior day from Atlanta, Georgia. Hampton up the middle, nowhere to go. Just got clogged up in the middle after picking up maybe 2.
Yeah, that's why that penalty that brought that big run back was so important. I mean, this offense for UNC, it kind of gets them rolling. Once one run play breaks, you have the ability to create more, and that was just a great play by Brandon Cleveland, working on Austin Blaskey, and just a quick swim move and easy TFL.
Now Hampton split wide at the bottom of your screen. Criswell to throw. Pressure off the corner. Ball tipped. Almost caught. That would have been a big gain. Had McCollum been able to squeeze it, because he had nobody between himself and the end zone, but it goes incomplete.
I think it was tipped by Devon Betty. Middle linebacker, either him or Sean Brown, right up the middle. You see the off-the-ball linebacker right over the center, just kind of bounces and tips it. That does look like Devon Betty. Great play. I mean, this defensive front 7 for NC State has been dominant so far in this game.
Back-to-back 3-and-outs for North Carolina. McGinnis to punt it away once again. He'll have the wind at his back. Jalen Coit standing by at his own 35. Low kick will stay out of the wind. And it takes the North Carolina bounce.
That got close to hitting an NC State player, but I think it just missed him.
40-yard punt. Nothing on the return, so NC State.
The ruling on the field, illegal touching by the kicking team. It's 1st down, NC State at that spot. Timeout.
And that's right at the 40. Defensive slugfest here early in Chapel Hill. Can NC State get on the board? We'll find out when we come back. Time to put some points up. Kendrick Raphael getting the run at tailback here to start this drive, and he'll get the carry up the middle. 45 to midfield, and he'll pick up a 1st down. Last week, Raphael led this tailback trio in carries, marked with 9. Smothers had 7. Jordan Waters had 3.
Yeah, and they love mixing it up. When they have all 3 healthy, they feel like they can have their best chance on offense.
Again to Raphael. Bounces it outside, picks up 4.
There's been some games where this offensive line have really played well. And Yeah, I think probably their best game together was in that Stanford game, where his offense put up 59 points. And Dave Doeren said that was the kind of the first time he saw all 5 offensive linemen playing as one. And yeah, we called the game the week after against Duke, and Duke kind of dismantled the offensive line and had a lot of TFLs. So far today, they've been playing a pretty good job, not allowing a lot of pressure while CJ is in the pocket and opening some lanes for the run.
Wolfpack right back in North Carolina territory. Bailey's going to throw pressure on the edge. He avoids it. Now he's going to run with it himself. Down inside the 40-yard line. That's right where they'll mark him, and that's right where the stick is for the first down marker.
Yeah, brought pressure again. You see 23 coming on the edge, occupies the block, allows Elijah Huzzy to get pressure on CJ Bailey, but Bailey uses those quick feet, getting out of bounds, picking up some yards in the first down. And again, you're not going to see a lot of design runs for CJ Bailey, but his ability to escape pressure, just being a true freshman, has been really impressive this year.
Got 5 carries for 22 yards so far on the day. Pressure up the middle from North Carolina, and that's Waters on the direct snap, just moving the pile, and he picks up maybe 3. That was like a rugby scrum up front.
Yeah, Robert Anai, the offensive coordinator, he's going to get his playmakers the ball in a bunch of different ways. You're going to see Jordan Waters line up at quarterback. You're going to see Casey Concepcion line up at running back. They're going to switch their guys up to try to get the best matchups they can.
Bailey to throw. Waters stays in the block. Now he's going downfield. Receiver trips a little bit, and it's intercepted. Marcus Allen with an outstanding catch on the pick.
Allen, the 6'1", 190-pound junior out of Marietta, Georgia, had great coverage here on the little double move. Again, trying to go to Wesley Grimes deep. Wesley Grimes stumbles, and great job of tracking the ball in the air by Allen and coming down with it. This is a throw that CJ Bailey would have liked to have back, and he put it out there, tried to let his receiver make a play on the ball. There's a safety coming over top. Big play for UNC early, and again, that's the first turnover of the day for NC State. 2 or more, they lose every time. Hampton,
not a lot of room again on first down. He picks up a yard. Sean Brown, former safety, now one of the top linebackers in the ACC, making the stop.
And you just got to stick with the ground game. UNC cannot get scared of it. You look at the scoreboard, it's 0-0. Just keep at that ground game, and you hope eventually you get to break one, or at the very least, your 5 offensive linemen start breaking down those 3 defensive linemen for NC State.
Wolfpack showing a little pressure. Criswell to throw. Ball knocked away as it was defended really well. Culliver was the intended receiver, but Devon Marshall knocked it away. These defensive backs for NC State are really covering these receivers.
Yeah, and you came into the season thinking that NC State might have some of the best corners in the league, with Aiden White returning and Brandon Cisse on the outside. Devon Marshall was a little bit of a surprise for them, transferred in from Villanova, but he has been playing really well for them also.
Another 3rd down and long for the Tar Heels. Wolfpack bring 5. It's picked up. Now there's a fumble on the play. Who else? Davin Vann forced it. That's 6 on the season for the Wolfpack defensive end. And NC State gets it right back.
Well, we talked about Davin Vann earlier in the game. This time he's going to line up on the left side of the offensive line. You see him working on number 79, Howard Sampson. And watch this, just a little dip, great hands, good job of leaning and getting underneath, and he knows where to go. Go for the ball in the hand. Great job of forcing his 6th fumble of the season. Leads the NCAA in forced fumbles. He gets another one on that one. What a year it's been for Davin Van, captain of this team at Cary High School, North Carolina.
Gets the turnover bone. And he set up his offensive teammates in the red zone. Bailey to throw. One-handed catch, can't bring it in. Justin Joly, you do get a flag in the end zone as the all-world tight end almost made a sensational catch.
Yeah, definitely some holding by the defender. Looks like that was Caleb Cost that was covering the bigger Joly.
These officials having to step in multiple places on the field in between these two teams to keep the players separated.
How about that? You turn the ball over on offense, then Davin Van makes a big play of his own to create a turnover, get the ball back to your team.
Big ol' Anthony Belton having a word with our referee, Jerry Magalanis. This officiating crew has had to sort a few things out here early on.
Yeah, they have.
Still sorting this one out.
It's a lengthy discussion.
Yes. You mentioned the No Shave November for this crew. He's going to look like ZZ Top before this discussion is over.
Dave Doeren's got a little Thanksgiving beard going too.
That he does. Now we get another. Some more pushing and shoving. Maybe this is why it's taken so long. The officials have to break off their discussion to separate the players.
Ooh, and look at that. I love it. Desmond Evans turning to the crowd saying, "Get loud." NC State sidelines turning to their fans saying, "Get loud." I love it.
Yeah, as much respect as these two coaches and these two programs have for each other, there's plenty of contention to go around.
Ooh, there sure is. And you know, after last year, there's a camera in the locker room when Dave Doeren didn't know it was there. He said some things about it. UNC's football team that Mack Brown took offense to. He came back calling Dave Doeren classless. They have since made up, but that tension lasts in the locker room.
It runs deep.
The ruling on the field. Pass interference defense. The ball's placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down. Also, unsportsmanlike conduct. Each player of both squads has been issued. Those fouls will offset. There's a counter on every player of both teams. They each have one unsportsmanlike conduct for the rest of the game.
So I guess every one of the 11 players for each side, you're saying the entire team? Okay. So the next unsportsmanlike for any member of the Wolfpack or Tar Heel team counts as their second. There you see the replay. And Caleb Cost had a hold of Joly's foot. Offensive lineman took exception to it. That looked like Zeke Corral, transfer from Notre Dame, starting center. It's 1st and goal.
And to note, a player can only receive 2 unsportsmanlike conducts in the course of a game, and then they're ejected.
Handoff up the middle, Smothers. And he gets in. Wolfpack strike first. NC State 3-0 when scoring first this season, which they do here inside of Keenan. Kanoa Vineset, no problem with the PAT, and it's 7-0 NC State early.
How about that, Hollywood Smothers, after all that discussion around the penalties and the contention on the field, first play handed to Hollywood Smothers, and he goes right up the middle. You think there's not some intensity there in his run and on the line, and Just to go back to make that point about the unsportsmanlike penalty is called. I'm not clear on who exactly got the tally for the unsportsmanlike penalty, but in college football, first unsportsmanlike penalty is a 15-yard penalty. The second one is an automatic ejection for the player who gets that second one. So it's something to keep focus on as this game continues. The two that were tangled up in the altercation initially, Caleb Cost and Justin Jolie. We'll see if we can get any more clarity on whether all 11 on the field were actually penalized or not.
Chris Culliver back to return this Colin Smith kick. He's only had 5 of his kicks returned all year. He's got a howitzer for a leg. This one high into the wind, and Carolina's going to get an opportunity here. That was Nate McCollum on the return. And North Carolina's going to be set up in pretty good field. Blacksburg in forever. I mean, it has been a long, tough road there on the road, that's for sure. This North Carolina offense, 13 yards on 10 plays in this game, 0 first downs. Caleb Hood in at tailback for North Carolina. The pop pass to McCollum. Picks up maybe a couple.
Davin Van, I mean, that dude from his defensive end position just tracked down the ball carrier. Nate McCollum.
Dave Doeren talked a lot about Davin Van and how he has learned to corral his emotions and really channel them into becoming one of the top defensive ends in this conference.
Move their offensive tackle from the left to the right, creating an unbalanced formation.
Hampton flag down, drags a defender for about 4 or 5. That's Sean Brown. Got to check the marker though. Where that marker landed does not bode well for the folks in Carolina blue.
Holding offense number 58, 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
4th penalty, 49 yards already for North Carolina in this contest.
And that was on the center. Watch Austin Blaski, the center right there, is working on number 13. And again, the defender goes down. It looks like he was kind of bumped by the right guard, Willie Lampkin. Penalty was called nonetheless.
Room on the outside for Jones. Gets a chunk of that penalty yardage back. Isaiah Shirley on the tackle, but that's 12 yards downfield. And now J.J. Jones is going to have to come off because his helmet came off.
Yeah, UNC, they're going to have to start figuring out how to move the football when Omarion Hampton isn't able to produce up the middle. I mean, you know, this is Chip Lindsey, the offensive coordinator, has had answers in the past, whether it's been getting J.J. Jones going on the outside, whether it's getting Nate McCollum. We've seen them try to get him the ball on the reverse.
Carolina 0 for 3 on 3rd down today with an average of 7.5 yards to go. Defended nicely by Bishop Fitzgerald. Secondary again steps up for the Wolfpack.
And just wait. Eventually, NC State's going to start bringing the pressure, the heavy pressure. If their defensive backfield is playing this well and locking down these receivers, Tony Gibson can start having a field day. And if they increase this lead on this next drive, then that's when Tony Gibson starts really messing with the head of the quarterback. And he's going to send pressures. He's going to drop 8. He's going to blitz 8. NC State looks like they're going to come after this punt.
Yeah, McGinnis in the punt once again. He's keeping it low. A little bit of a bounce. Not much of one, though. And Carolina will down it after 43 yards and net 43. Both these teams have had up and down seasons. When you talk about the Wolfpack, they had a really disappointing game against Tennessee early on in the year, right? Got blown out 51-10, and alternating some wins and losses. Also, not a great performance at Clemson. They beat Northern Illinois. This is a team that beat Notre Dame earlier in the year as well. But still, a couple of losses, a couple of wins, a couple of losses. They haven't really been able to get into any type of a rhythm. Yeah, and there are certain games where they gave up a lot of yards on the ground against Syracuse and really put it all together at the two California teams versus Cal and Stanford. Here's Bailey. He's able to get well downfield before he's even touched. Javari Ritzy tackled him, but he got 12 yards downfield, almost walking downfield. Yeah, good job by the offensive line. I mean, anytime you see plays develop slowly on the offense, it's usually because the offensive line has allowed that to happen, not letting anyone jet through the offensive line. Smothers, swing pass, drop for a loss. Michael Short making the play in the backfield. Another TFL, third of the game for North Carolina. Yeah, Michael Short, a true sophomore. They really like what he's going to bring. He's going to play 15 to 20 plays in this game, backing up Amari Campbell at that Mike linebacker position. But he's 6'3", 230 pounds, and you see the speed that he plays with. Great TFL, and again, another negative play. This is the end of the first quarter. No bueno. It's not a stat that he's very proud of, I wouldn't think. And now you got Casey Concepcion taking the direct snap. And he gets brought down. No gain on the play. Again, it was Michael Short. You talked about him before we went to break there at the end of the first quarter. Jeff Collins says he and Kayla Lavallee have been great on special teams warriors, and that's what's kind of gotten them a little bit more run on the defensive side. Yeah, I mean, you come in the game and you make 2 TFLs. I mean, like, that's not a bad way to start off the game. You're going to get more clock as this game goes along as well. And on third down and long, NC State has got to find a way to get the ball out of the CJ's hand quickly. They're going to give it to Smothers. Along the outside, tries to cut it back, but right into the teeth of this North Carolina defense, and NC State will be forced to punt. It was Atkinson again, tracking down the ball carrier. We've only had one third down conversion all day, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that both teams have found themselves in 2nd and long or in 3rd and 15 at times, and neither team has been able to have success on first down. First down runs, first down quick passes have not been easy to come by in this game, and it's resulted in this back and forth nature of these series. Nooncaster's kick. Huzzy with the fair catch. And Carolina, can the Tar Heels get anything going on the offensive end? Stick with us to find out. That's it. It's been all Hokies. Winner of that game, bowl eligible. Hampton, can he get going here? Spins away from the tackle, picks up 5. Well, that's a positive gain on first down for North Carolina. And this is the same exact play they ran that got called back in the first quarter, where they're going to pull the backside guard and tackle. And they're just trying to overload the line of scrimmage and create numbers. And Omarion Hampton almost breaks through. Oh, my goodness, that shot at the end with the offensive lineman coming over top. You got to watch out when you're standing around the pile. Fake to Hampton this time. Gets it out to McCollum. He's got a blocker in front of him. Takes it out to the 44. Brandon Cisse forced him out. McCollum did a nice job to pick up that ball right off the turf as that pass was low. Yeah, got to get that pass up. If that pass is higher and you hit him, in stride, you have a chance to break a big one. But they're just, they're trying to get numbers, and that's all Chip Lindsey's doing is counting the box. And
saying, okay, we're going to bring a guy in, we're going to count the box. If they're going to all cramp in, then we're going to throw it out to our wide receivers.
First down of the day for North Carolina. Hampton picking and choosing his spots, gets about 3 or 4. Hampton has just now gone over 1,500 yards rushing on the season for the 2nd consecutive season.
Yeah, that's wild. Last year, 1,504 yards on the year. He was first team Walter Camp All-American, Doak Walker finalist, and he has backed up that year with an amazing year this year as well. 9 games with 100 yards rushing this season.
Coming into this game 5th on the all-time rushing list here at North Carolina, and they have had some great backs. Look at him here, keep going. Still going inside the 35. And a late flag to boot. That gets the crowd here in Kenan on their feet.
It looks like Brandon Cisse is down injured at the end of that run, and this is just why you hand the ball off to Omarion Hampton more. Just continue to do it, because that didn't look like it was going to be a 20-yard gain, 15-yard gain. Just that willpower busted him through that line. Brandon Cisse, again, another guy standing around the pile at the very end of the play, gets banged by an offensive lineman coming to help out.
We've already had Kamen Rucker, starting rush end for North Carolina, ruled out for the rest of the day. So there's one big-time defender for the Heels, and now the best cornerback on this Wolfpack team, according to their defensive coordinator, Tony Gibson. Now he's banged up. This officiating crew continues to talk things over as we had that late flag. Several of them on the field.
The ruling on the field, the first down was made. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 79. 15-yard penalty. The play results in a 1st and 10 after enforcement.
Yeah, and that's the player, Howard Sampson, late in the play that hit Brandon Cisse from behind, and that's the cause of this penalty. And it's anytime you have a late penalty, it's disappointing for a coach and for the team, but when that penalty results in an injury to the opponent, that's a big no-no. You'll see this at the very end of the play. Watch 79 come in right here. Boom. I mean, that's
gratuitous.
It is. And Cisse went down right away and knew it's not a good look.
It's a good sign that Cisse is up on his own, being helped off the field. You saw Mack Brown out there concerned along with Dave Doeren when Cisse was on the turf. So the sophomore from Sumter, South Carolina, will walk off on his own power. So that's the 2nd big run of the day that's been called back on a penalty that Hampton's had. They'll pick up the 1st down, but then march back 15 yards. Yeah,
and that run counts, right? When you look at his rushing totals, that'll count because it was after the play, but then you back up, so kind of negates the positivity of it. And I think what you've seen on the last 2 runs by Omarion Hampton, you've watched the offensive lineman continue blocks downfield, and I think that last kind of hit by Howard Sampson, it's just a result of the offensive lineman wanting to do extra, right? When you have a great running back, you want to continue to help block them. You want to be tough. You want to be physical. You just got to be smart while you're doing it. And that just was not a smart play by Sampson.
So a fresh set of downs for North Carolina inside NC State territory, but they're backed up considerably to where they would have been had that flag not flown against Howard Sampson. Hampton. You can see the talent. Inside the 40, down to the 38, another 1st down.
And this is a great job. This time, Willie Lampkin, number 53, the left guard, pulls around, and he has a great kick-out block. He's working on Sean Brown, number 0, and then running the ball with intensity was Omarion Hampton. And Willie Lampkin, you don't see this very often. He is an offensive guard. He is 5'11", 290 pounds, but he is a little guy. Offensive line standards, but he can pack a punch. Criswell to throw. Has time underneath.
Hampton, you can see, makes the catch and absorbs the contact and falls forward for a couple more.
That was absorbing contact from Brandon Cleveland. Nose tackle just went out in coverage and banged him.
Flag flies and whistles blow before we even get started here.
False start. Offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And our referee today, Jerry Magallanes, is going to need a lozenge before all is said and done. He is working that mic. 69 yards of penalties against North Carolina already today. They average 62 per game. Mack Brown is just thinking, we got to cut these penalties out.
And that's the second on Austin Blaski.
Driving your way back. Blaski on senior day. His family was here as he walked.
Dad had the best outfit.
He looked like the Undertaker.
He did.
I thought it was the Undertaker. It might be. Criswell defended well, but a nice job catching the ball. That was Christian Hamilton making the catch on the outside. Devin Marshall, again, these cornerbacks for NC State are all over the receivers. This is a nice catch.
I mean, it's a great catch, but the break on the football, I mean, there is just no room for yards after contact. And, you know, it's kind of expected. NC State statistically is the best tackling team in the ACC, and so it's no wonder they're tackling shortly tonight. Oh, look, they're showing pressure. Tony Gibson's bringing his guys.
On 3rd and 6. They give it to Hampton. He drags defenders forward, but he only picks up 3, so he's going to be 3 yards shy. Calvin McBride, among others, dragging down Omarion Hampton. So what do you do here?
He's going to be at the 31-yard line.
48 yards on the kick, wind swirling in your face.
Well, I think it's pretty clear what they're doing. They're keeping their offense out in the field, and Omarion Hampton lined up all split out all the way to the top of the screen in the empty formation. And NC State has crowded the box. They look like they are showing pressure, playing man-to-man on the outside. Ball has to come out quick.
Criswell looking to throw right on the outside is where the pressure comes, trying to get it to his receiver, and the flag comes in. Marshall just a little bit too tight in coverage that time on Hamilton.
Tony Gibson decides to bring the house in zero pressure, and I think it's a good call.
Pass interference, defense. Play results in an automatic first down.
See the pressure. Sean Brown's the unblocked defender. Gets the ball away, and I think because it was underthrown a little bit, Devin Marshall was out of position, and
pass interference is defense number 16.
When Christian Hamilton came back to the football, that's when the grab occurred.
First red zone trip of the day for North Carolina. Fake to Hampton. Criswell wants to throw to the end zone. Overshoots his tight end, Copenhaver. Had him wide open.
Oh, he had him. He had him. And he starts out in line tight end. You see him on the left side of the screen. He's blocking. 1-2 block, and then he releases out. You see Devin Marshall, who is responsible for him man-to-man, just gets out of position, and that was just a poorly thrown football. I mean, that's a wide open touchdown for John Copenhaver. He just missed.
10th play of the drive for the Heels. Hampton met in the backfield, driven backwards. Travali Price beat his man and then met Hampton for the TFL.
Feels like every single time that UNC snaps the football, there's just a swarm of red hats. I mean, yeah, they're flying through the line of scrimmage and just making it very difficult for this ground game for UNC to get going. 3rd down and 2 sticks again, meaning 3rd down in more than 10 yards.
You can see the offensive play selection about even rushing and passing for North Carolina to this point. More Hampton on this drive as he's got 6 carries.
Look for the one-on-one matchup up top as they bring pressure. They got one-on-one.
All kinds of pressure. They get it out to Jones inside the 10, inside the 5, and he'll score.
Well, here's the pressure, bring all-out pressure again. Man-to-man coverage on the outside. He decides to go to the three-man side. And a great job by J.J. Jones, wearing Tylee Craft's number, of catching it and getting to the end zone.
And Burnett misses the PAT. His first miss of the season. And it prevents North Carolina from evening this game up at 7 apiece. The Wolfpacks still lead by a point. But the best offensive showing so far today for North Carolina. They march down the field and put 6 on the board. It's Jones, the senior, getting it done. Lucas Oseda to kick off for the Tar Heels. And the dangerous DK Kaufman back for the Wolfpack. You won't get an opportunity this time as Oseda drives it out the back of the end zone. Let's take a look back at that touchdown.
Yeah, 3rd and 11, and this is the first 3rd down conversion, and Tony Gibson decides to bring pressure. Look right here. He frees it right here. There is nobody in the middle of the field, and it's, they really, defensively, when you're calling this, you think, okay, they're in field goal range already, and we just have to stop them short of that 8-yard line, and then they'll kick the field goal. Interesting time to call that all-out pressure for Tony Gibson. And Boston College last week heated up UNC, and they didn't handle it well. They've obviously gone back during practice and said, look, we think NC State's going to do the same thing. Great execution offensively by UNC to get that touchdown.
Kendrick Raphael here. Met at the line of scrimmage, maybe picks up a yard. Travis Shaw, big old number 4, 6'5", 330 junior out of Greensboro. Yeah, we're talking about you, big boy. That is a big dude.
And the depth they have at that defensive tackle position with Jafari Ritzy, Kevin Hester, Josh Harris, Travis Shaw, Rodney Laura. They have a bunch of guys they rotate in there to keep them fresh.
2nd and 9. Raphael still in the backfield. Bailey gives it to him again. This time he bounces it outside, avoids another tackler. He lowers his shoulder. He's going to be close to a first down. I think he's going to be just a little bit shy. They're marking him right at it. That'll move the sticks. First down. Caleb Cost eventually got him down, but this is a good run.
Yeah, good job breaking tackles. I mean, there's nothing there, just kind of in a stalemate. And then you got a one-on-one with Stick Lane, break that tackle, and have a big gain. And you give up that touchdown. How do you respond offensively? Good pickup for a first down.
Waters and Raphael both in the game now alongside Bailey. It's Raphael testing the right side this time. He's got a defender on his back, picks up about 3. That was short.
Michael Short's having himself a heck of a day in that reserve role at linebacker. Just a sophomore, and one of those guys that UNC is definitely going to want to retain. Anytime you have a coaching change, you're worried about some of the younger players leaving in the transfer portal. He is going to be a guy that they target to keep here on this team, with Power Eccles having to leave after this year.
Empty backfield with Raphael in the slot. Bailey looking to throw, surveys the field. He has time downfield, right through the receiver's hands. Noah Rogers.
Well, another drop by these NC State wide receivers. We saw Wesley Grimes with one early seam pass down the field in the first quarter. That one with Noah Rogers. And this is a team that Robert and I said, look, you earn playing time at wide receiver by catching passes that are thrown to you. They do not drop a lot of footballs on this team. Those have been 2 rare drops and 2 big drops for this NC State team.
Carolina's defense with a chance to get off the field here on 3rd and 6. Bailey to throw. Tar Heels bring 5, but Bailey has time and can't hook up with his receiver on the outside. That was once again Noah Rogers. And it was Marcus Allen defending on the play.
Another great job defensively by Marcus Allen, and good job picking up the pressure by NC State. UNC brings 4 and has the linebacker Michael Shorts hovering as a spy. They found their one-on-one matchup, but Marcus Allen was just too good on the outside.
We saw C.J. Bailey frustrated a little bit as NC State will punt for the 4th time in this first half. Huzzy waiting for it. He'll let it bounce, and it takes a great NC State bounce. Huzzy finally has to track it down at his own 7. North Carolina with basketball early on in the season. Things are starting to heat up a little bit. And North Carolina is going to move back even deeper in their own territory here. Jacolby Criswell's heating up a bit. 4 for his last 5 after starting the game 2 for 7. And certainly the run game starting to percolate a little bit on that last drive will help that.
Delay of game, defense, number 1. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I stand corrected.
Ooh, interesting.
That must have been a case where Davin Vann was simulating a snap count.
I mean, that was like, usually they call that like with a coordinated defensive line shift. So someone claps,
yep,
the defensive line moves. It looked like it just someone went in motion and he moved. Interesting call. Davin Vann decided, you know what, if you're going to call that on me, I'm going to destroy your entire offense single-handedly, and that's what he just did on that play.
He got into the backfield like a lightning bolt on that play.
I mean, that was crazy. He just ran over the offensive tackle, Luke Masterson.
Now he's getting an explanation on what happened on the last play before when he was called for the penalty. Second down and 6 after the 1-yard loss. Hampton again. Bursts through the line and gets out to the 19. That'll move the chains.
Another tackle for Davin Vann. You see the burst. I mean, they're starting to feel like they got something going on this run game.
And just feeding him right now. Just getting clobbered by white jerseys, blue jerseys from behind. 5 yards. Hampton's listed at 6 feet 220. He takes a lot of punishment.
He does, and they're going to him again. You talk about early in the game, it's not working. Keep feeding him the ball. That's 14 rushes and 13 passes for UNC. They know what they need to win. They need to get their ground game going and starting to get there. Omarion Hampton with 72 yards already on the ground.
Criswell now rolling the pocket underneath. Hits a receiver. That's Paysour. First time we've called Kobe Paysour's name today. Senior out of Kings Mountain, North Carolina, makes the catch. So this running game helping Criswell get a little bit of momentum here, a little bit of rhythm. Hampton just lowers his shoulders and picks up 3 yards.
This is one of the reasons why he's going to be such a good NFL running back, is because, in the NFL you don't see running backs have 250 yards rushing or anything like that, because they need to be efficient with their running game. And Omarion Hampton might be the most efficient running back in college football, where pretty much every time you hand him the ball, he'll get 3 yards, he'll get 4 yards. He might not break the big ones every time, but those are what NFL teams are looking for.
Davian Goss now in for North Carolina. Criswell to throw pressure on the edge, and it's deflected, incomplete. Coley down on the field. What do you got?
Well, guys, we saw Brandon Cisse, the North Carolina State cornerback, last drive leave the field with an injury. I've just been told that he is now out for the game with an upper body injury. Before that, I actually saw him going into the locker room for evaluation, and just before they took him into the locker room, athletic trainers were looking at the back of his head. He was pointing to a spot right on the back of his head, and apparently their evaluation proved that he would be out for the rest of the day.
All right, thanks, Coley. Both these teams now out. Have a big starting defender out of this game. Criswell has all kinds of time. Steps up now. Hits a receiver over the middle. That's his tight end, Copenhaver. And another big game. Bishop Fitzgerald on the tackle, but Copenhaver gives him 18 more yards.
Well, does a great job of stepping in the pocket. NC State does not bring pressure. He finds the open window and delivers a strike.
Gauze gets about 3. Von Betty on the stop, so now they want to go tempo a little bit here, North Carolina. Got North Carolina State on their heels a bit defensively.
Yeah, I think a lot of times after a big play, especially a big play pass, they're going to go back out right to the run. And you see Gauze there. We talked about people knowing each other well. Davion Gauze on the same high school team as NC State quarterback C.J. Bailey at Chaminade Madonna out of Miami.
He's in a powerhouse down in South Florida. Once again, having a great season down there. Lots around offensively. 0 first downs in the first quarter. They've had 8 so far in the second quarter, and now driving again in Wolfpack territory. Here's Hampton. No, I'm sorry, Criswell kept it. Spinning away from the defender inside the 30. Great fake. And DK Kaufman had to bring Criswell down, but not after a 13-yard gain. This time it's Hampton up the middle. He stopped. Maybe got a yard. Kamal Bonner on the tackle.
It's kind of an interesting back and forth between these coordinators. Tony Gibson, the defensive coordinator for NC State, and Chip Lindsey, the offensive coordinator for UNC. I think Chip Lindsey is starting to kind of counteract the aggressive nature of this NC State defense. Bring a lot of pressure, man-to-man on the outside, they deliver.
Criswell, Jones tried to stiff arm a defender. And he's brought down right on top of the Tiley Kraft emblem on the field. And he's wearing number 13 today. Comes up limping a little bit. The 12th play of this drive. It started on North Carolina's own 7-yard line.
And let's see on this third down, very similar area of the field. That last third down that led to a touchdown where Tony Gibson brought all that pressure. Let's see if they drop back in coverage here or if they try to get after Criswell again.
And Dave Doeren wants to talk things over defensively.
Timeout, NC State. Their first time out of the.
Carolina's got all 3 timeouts on the board with 50 seconds left in this first half. If they can convert here, they've got plenty of time. McCollum in motion. NC State brings 5. Criswell has enough time trying to go to Copenhagen and just overshoots him inside the 5.
And they brought pressure here. They bring 5 guys, and the ball needs to come out fast. Copenhagen had a step on the defender. Just an uncatchable ball, and that's going to set up a field goal attempt for UNC. And last time we saw the kicker on the field, he missed the extra point.
Yeah, that was Noah Burnett. He'll put a charge into this 44-yard attempt now to give North Carolina the lead. It's long enough, but it's wide right. The usually reliable Noah Burnett, the senior from Raleigh, missing an extra point and now a 44-yard field goal attempt, and NC State still leads by a point.
And that one, you're just not a lot. The leg didn't hit that one squarely.
Doran's reaction, pleased, and now his offense is back on the field with 41 seconds. Let's see what Robert and I cooks up here in the final moments of this first half. Waters is going to try and run it. Picks up maybe 4. Conversely to North Carolina's success in the second half, NC State has had all kinds of problems. 24 yards of total offense and just 1 first down here in this second frame. And they're not going to get much here. Now the question is, if you're North Carolina, you don't call timeouts. You got 3 on the board.
Yeah, very interesting that both these coaches are just letting this half end. I mean, you think about watching college football and anything can happen in 20 seconds. You think about the game last night between Georgia and Georgia Tech. I mean, 20 seconds left in the game seemed like an eternity. But nonetheless, a low-scoring defensive battle for these two teams.
They'll both head to the locker room. We'll kick it off into the night sky here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Touchback, and Carolina will get the ball to start this second half. Chris Cotter alongside Mark Kertzlick. Defensive battle in that first half, that's for sure. You think about Bailey in NC State, he only completed 3 passes in that first half. North Carolina finally got Hampton going a little bit in the second quarter. Yeah, I think both teams need to settle down, right? You go into halftime, a lot of emotion in this rivalry game, a lot of things that really went well defensively, but not a lot going well on the offensive side, really for either team. You mentioned Omarion Hampton getting going a little towards the end of the game, and we need to see C.J. Bailey start getting some more completions. Only 19 yards through the air for NC State offensively in the first half. Criswell hands it off to Hampton. He gets met in the backfield by a slew of Wolfpack defenders led by Sean Brown. Great start defensively for NC State, 4th TFL of the game. Coley Harvey's down on the field.
Well, Chris, I had a chance to talk with UNC head coach Mack Brown at half, and he said that this drive right here is important. We've got to continue to get running back Omarion Hampton, were his words. We've got to turn these 4-yard runs into 8-yard runs and get more explosive gains that way. He also mentioned the chippiness, the emotion that Mark was just talking about, and he reminded his team at half of the comments that Dave Doeren, the North Carolina State head coach, had last year in the locker room. So the team is trying to play with that chippiness as this game continues.
Defended well by D.K. Kaufman as Criswell was trying to get it to his tight end Copenhaver downfield, and it'll bring up 3rd and 11. That's interesting too that Mack Brown brought that up right at halftime. I think he was trying to downplay it a lot in the media this week and saying that they moved past it, but hey, if you got bulletin board material, you might as well break it out at halftime, see if your players can respond. 3rd down and 11 in this opening drive for the Tar Heels in the second half. Pressure on the edge. Criswell avoids Van, now downfield. And he was trying to hit McCollum, but again, a good defense. That was T-Mac Cooley defending on the play, and the 3rd 3-and-out forced by this NC State defense today. Yeah, Criswell got to put this ball out in front. The way that Nate McCollum was running down the sideline, he wanted that ball to be placed out in front of him. It was kind of underthrown. You see McCollum pointing like, they throw it downfield. Let me use my speed to go and get it. Good stop by NC State to thwart that important possession that Mack Brown talked about. Tom McGinnis now to punt it for North Carolina. End over end kick. Coy's just going to let this one bounce, or he catches it rather at his 39. And that's going to be where C.J. Bailey and NC State take over. Yeah, we talked about C.J. Bailey. You see only 3 completions, 19 passing yards, but 3 drops. And Dave Doeren talked about that as he left the field for halftime. Those are 3 big drops, 3 open receivers downfield, and those need to be caught. You got to have some of these receivers helping out their young quarterback. Let's see if they go to the pass early in this second half. Bailey's going to run it himself. He's got Smothers in front of him as a blocker. Well-designed play, and Bailey's going to pick up 9. That's really how C.J. Bailey has been most effective in this game so far. 7 attempts on the ground for 42 yards rushing, leading rusher for this NC State team, and that is not how they want to operate. But that's what UNC has been giving them so far. Smothers has room on the right side, lowers his shoulder, powers his way to the 43. Power Eccles making his 2nd consecutive stop, but 2 good runs for the Wolfpack, getting the ball into North Carolina territory. Yeah, and the first time they got really good movement. Watch 74 on the right-hand side. He does a good job of getting up on the linebackers and just a wall on that right-hand side. Good movement. First time they've had good movement all game. Staying with Smothers in the eye behind Bailey. And they'll give it to Hollywood. Big hole in the right side. Spins away from one defender before being spun down by Desmond Evans, but another 9 yards.
Straight downhill, hit that A-gap, direct runs.
They're feeding Hollywood. Now he bounces it to the left, showing that speed outside. Inside the 30, down to the 28.
And we talked about C.J. Bailey only completing 3 passes, needing to get the pass game going. Well, Dave Doeren and Robert and I didn't care, apparently, and they said, let's come out and run the ball and establish dominance on the offensive line. And this entire drive has been all on the ground. 4 plays, 32 yards, 2 first downs.
Bailey to throw. Nope, he's going to tuck it and run. Design quarterback draw. And that looked like it was going to be a huge play from the start. But because Omarion Campbell came and filled the hole, it was only 5 yards.
You're seeing more design run plays for C.J. Bailey than we've really seen all first half. And they're going to use tempo again.
Carolina showing pressure. They bring it. Smothers gets caught from behind. That was Stick Lane who brought the pressure and was able to track down Hollywood Smothers.
NC State might want to think about doing a hard count because Stick Lane just timed up that snap count and timed it up perfectly coming off the edge, and that'll set up a big 3rd down right on the fringe of the red zone for NC State. They bring in their big bodies.
Bailey rolls the pocket. Pressure. They got him. Third sack of the day for this Heels defense. Elijah Huzzy brought him down.
Yeah, and it was all Joshua Harris, number 6, does a great job from his nose tackle position of getting upfield. Stock cut off the running lane for C.J. Bailey. Was trying to be a sprint out to the right and hit Casey Concepcion in the flat, but Joshua Harris shut that down immediately.
Kanoa Vine set from 41 yards. Good snap, good hold. The kick is away, and it's good. The Wolfpack add to their lead on their first offensive possession of the second half. Dave Doeren continues to call his team over, not wanting any post-whistle flags to be thrown. Got to be happy with the way his team has started this second half. They increased their... And Culliver will watch it bounce into the end zone. Coming up tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern on the ACC Network, rivalry weekend continues. We're going to cap it off with the 106th Commonwealth Cup between Virginia and Virginia Tech. Winner is bowl eligible. And with that game, and if NC State can hang on and win this game, all but 4 teams in the ACC will be bowl eligible by the end of the day. It's pretty amazing.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with bowl selections, because the way things are shaping out, there might be more teams bowl eligible than they have room for in bowl games, and might come down to conference standings about who gets placed where.
Here's Hampton. Straight up the middle. Look out! Now it's a foot race. And I don't think 28's going to lose that foot race. Well, Mark, you were wearing out my eardrum in the first half saying just keep feeding 28 the ball, because one of these days that's going to happen. The longest run of his career, 75 yards. He goes over 100 yards. And Burnett with the PAT gives North Carolina the 3-point lead.
There's a direct run right up the middle. Great block by the left guard. Willie Lampkin, and then no one touches Omarion Hampton. He's off to the races, gets in the end zone for his first touchdown of the night, going over 100 yards. And that vacates the entire second level for NC State's defense.
Kaufman is going to have a chance to make amends here. Can't spin away from the North Carolina defender. It'll be NC State ball at their own 22. Play SMU for the championship. Waters still on his feet. Good run by Waters out beyond the 35, and that gets the NC State bench fired up. 13 yards.
Yeah, great response by Waters. And this offensive line creating space for him, and injured player on the field. If anyone's curious, Miami is currently leading Syracuse 28-21 in the third quarter.
For an offensive player injury.
That game is going exactly how I envisioned it going. I'm going to put some points on the board. That's going to be a shootout, continue to be a shootout. Waters is still down after that run. Both of these teams have had to deal with some injuries, mostly on the defensive end, with Kamen Rucker out for North Carolina and Brandon Cisse, their starting cornerback, and North Carolina State starting cornerback, both out. Good to see Waters up, moving on his own. Hollywood Smothers, his running back roommate there. Let's see if we can see where Waters got dinged up.
How about that effort by Waters?
Dragging four defenders all over him.
Yeah, that's an extra 7 yards.
Still going. Just a lot of limbs and bodies and weight.
Might have just been exhausted.
Certainly wouldn't blame him. Now Raphael's in the game. Design run. Raphael in front. Bailey can't get much. Maybe a yard. Amari Campbell was there to stop him.
Another good play by Amari Campbell. These linebackers for UNC have played well today. We've seen Power Echols get on some plays. Amari Campbell has made a couple. Michael Short as well.
Concepcion in the backfield. Bailey fakes his way. Now he looks downfield. Has a receiver wide open. That's Jolie, his tight end. Still on his feet. Down to the 26. Justin Jolie makes an appearance here in the second half of this game.
And Justin Jolie, he kind of gets lost in the shuffle down the seam. They flooded that side of the field with 4 wide receivers. You see the running back flare out to the flat. Jolie kind of leaks right up the hash. And it looks like Power Echols might have been the one supposed to be covering him and just gets lost. Great job by C.J. Bailey finding his tight end downfield.
That's his first completion since the 8-minute mark of the first quarter. And it's a big one, 37 yards. The give to Raphael. Has a lot of room to run, bounces it outside. Now cuts it back inside. And he picks up 8 yards.
It looked like he had some more room if he just kept going out to the sideline. It's a really good job. See the movement up front. Good block right there on the left side by Anthony Carter Jr. And you see Raphael, if you continue to stay outside towards the sideline, maybe you don't get caught. Little hesitation there.
Midway through this third quarter, good answer by NC State after the long Hampton run and touchdown for North Carolina. Raphael now in trouble. Flag down. Several of them. As Raphael was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
You see Joshua Harris, big boy, 325 pounds, just exploding through the offensive line. He's the one who drew the hole.
Holding. Offense. Number 87. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
I've seen some of these big interior defensive linemen pick them up and put them down for North Carolina.
Yeah, see the tight end on the left-hand side. He gets his hands inside, just a little grab on the outside of the shoulder pad. That's a good call, but it was Joshua Harris, number 6, who got that early pressure and made the running back bounce deep and wide. And again, a negative play on first down is leading to 2nd and long.
Bailey to throw. Underneath Smothers. Can't get free. He's able to pick up about 6. And it'll bring up 3rd down and long.
Good job by Mari Campbell at the short tackle on Hollywood Smothers. And that negative play on first down just makes it so difficult to pick up first downs on that series. Good play to get half of it back, and now 3rd down and manageable, but this North Carolina crowd's getting loud.
Pack just 1 for 6 on 3rd down, and that conversion came way back in the 1st quarter. Carolina's bringing some pressure. It's picked up. Jolie in the end zone, knocked away at the last second. Will Hardy did a fantastic job coming over from the strong safety spot. The junior from Lawrenceville, Georgia, denies Jolie.
Yeah, Bailey had him too. Just a little bit too much air under the football. You got to zip that one in there. That's a line drive throw. Put it out anywhere in front of Jolie, and that's a completion. But Will Hardy made a great play on that football.
Vine set from 40 yards out to knot things up. And it just gets it inside that right upright. Slow first half here in Chapel Hill. It's really picked up in the 2nd half. All knotted at 13. The heads of lettuce, you can keep them.
It does look tasty.
Another touchback for Colin Smith. The 2nd annual SEC ACC Challenge. It begins Tuesday. 3 straight nights of games. Men's and women's. Here's the men's schedule. South Carolina and Boston College gets things started from Conti Forum. Expect to see Mark Kirchlick and the entire family there. Kids running around like crazy.
Yep. 7 o'clock start too, so they'll be absolutely insane.
And then the women's schedule on Wednesday and Thursday, not only on the ACC network, also streaming live on the ESPN app. I've seen the family at sporting events. Great at first, then, like you would expect, things get a little sideways.
Yeah, you know, it's bring a 2-year-old to a 7 p.m. basketball game. That's what you expect.
North Carolina expects to keep Hampton rolling after that 75-yard touchdown on their last possession. NC State, though, has the other ideas. Picks up just a couple here on first down.
What a big drive last time. They continued to go to Omarion Hampton, thinking that he's finally going to bust one. He does. And the defense holds NC State to a field goal, and now you get the ball back. If you can get another trip to the end zone here, it would be a big momentum shift in UNC's favor.
NC State changing things up defensively as the chess game continues. Criswell. Scott Jones just overshoots him. And J.J. Jones knows he had his man beaten.
And he had Nate McCullum open. You see Nate McCullum in the slot right on the hash mark towards the top of your screen. And he's just open right now. And Jacolby Criswell just misses him. And
he was also open.
Yeah, I know.
They had 2 wide open receivers, and Criswell didn't see McCollum and didn't hit Jones. Criswell will look to throw again over the middle. Hits his receiver just shy, I believe, of the first down marker. That's Paul Billups II and Jackson Vick in coverage. They're going to mark it. Let's see where they put the ball down. He's got to be right at the 35. That's about 4 inches shy. What are you doing here in the 3rd quarter? Going for it.
Going right now, snap it and sneak it.
Criswell is a big quarterback, and he moves the pile forward.
And I think if he didn't have Omarion Hampton pushing on his back, he might have broken that one for a long run. I mean, he slipped out that left side, and there were no defenders there.
6'1", 230.
But I like that call by Mack Brown. Just be decisive. Let's go quick. Let's get to the line of scrimmage, get our big quarterback moving forward. Good first down.
Clock to tick inside of 4 minutes in this third quarter. Drive for the Heels continues. That's the tight end Copenhaver in motion. And they've got movement on the right side.
False start, offense, number 79. 3-yard penalty. First down.
Ball's going to go against Howard Sampson.
Howard Sampson, 6'8", 325 pounds.
Yeah.
It's a big boy, that left tackle spot.
Trayvon Green, the starting right tackle, is also injured and out for the rest of this game. Something else to keep an eye on. Out to Hampton. Nowhere to go. And gang tackled for a 2-yard loss.
That was Kamel Bonner, excuse me, from that Sam linebacker position. Good job, an open field tackle. And again, we're seeing another penalty caused at this time, not a negative play, but it's second down and 17. And just, it's so difficult to get drives going when you're consistently playing behind the sticks.
Got to get out to midfield for a first down. Criswell to throw. Pressure on the edge. He's got to run for his life. Gets it to a receiver and drops right in the hands of Kobe Paysor.
I mean, that was the best throw that Jacolby Criswell's had all day. And that would have been enough for a first down. Dave Doeren talked about his team and the drops that they could not have in the first half. This is just cannot have this if you want to win a rivalry game at home. Now it's third down and 17.
NC State brings just 3. Criswell over the middle. Got it. McCollum with the catch. He's right at the sticks, and they're going to move him.
And this time, NC State drops back in the zone coverage, and Jacolby Criswell throws a dart over the middle for the first.
And they want to go fast. Now Criswell comes up to the line of scrimmage.
Oh, and they almost caught NC State with too many men on the field. UNC did not substitute, and NC State did.
Criswell fakes it to Hampton. Now he's going to go up top. Caught! Touchdown, North Carolina! All Chris Culliver does is make plays. Last week, a 95-yard touchdown kick return. This week, a 50-yard catch from Jacolby Criswell. Tar Heels back on top. Puts the advantage at 7.
But Jacolby Criswell has tried to take these shots all night, and this one, again, just not as much on the football, but great adjustment by Chris Culliver to come back to the football, catches it off balance, stays in bounds, and scores the touchdown. And I mean, this is what you talk about when you talk about making plays for your quarterback. Not a perfectly thrown football, but a perfect catch by Chris Culliver. And what a response. The last 2 drives by UNC It was the Omarion Hampton long run, then the long pass from Criswell to Culliver. And this UNC offense is rolling.
Culliver, the sophomore from Maine, North Carolina, came into this game with 4 catches for 39 yards on the season. We kind of had a feeling we were going to see some new faces here for both of these teams, as players don't have to worry about burning red shirts. We want to get some new younger players involved that you know are going to be able to contribute next year at the end of this year, and Culliver is certainly one of them.
It sure is, and last year only 1 catch. And paying his dues and making the most of his opportunities.
Kaufman out to the 31. This game was played in mud in the first half, but boy, in this second half, these two offenses have kind of found their stride a little bit, answering each other's scores. Four straight possessions combined, we've seen scores from these two teams. Bailey to throw. Out of the backfield, it's Smothers. Big gain here inside of North Carolina territory.
And Smothers just got lost coming out of the backfield. No one picks him up as he releases to the flat, and C.J. Bailey finds him for a huge gain.
Now Smothers on the ground, a lot of room to run up the middle. Inside the 30. Harris and Stick Lane combining to make the tackle, but another 19 yards. That's 40 yards in 2 plays. NC State's right back in business. Inside of a minute to play in this third quarter. That's Concepcion in motion to the top of your screen. They're going to keep it on the ground to Smothers. Lowers his shoulder, picks up another good gain. That's about 6 yards on first down.
So 3 plays, Hollywood Smothers touches the ball every single time. And what I'd love to see out of NC State is, okay, now throw the counterpunch, right? You know this is working. You got a couple big plays. Now you got second and short. This is a perfect time to throw that counter punch, whether that's a play action pass and try to hit a shot down over the middle, or get Casey Concepcion involved, who's not on the field right now, so that might be difficult, but play off of the success you just had.
Waters spinning, tumbling forward, first down. Over 300 yards of offense combined in this third quarter. Completely different game than we saw in the first half.
This is the end of the third quarter.
Here, heading into the fourth. NC State trailing by 7, but driving. Concepcion maybe gets 2. This game has been a physical slobber knocker from the start.
And we talked early in the game, so important for NC State to get Casey Concepcion going. You see right here in the bottom left, Syracuse takes the lead off of a forced fumble return for a touchdown.
Concepcion hobbling a little bit on that NC State sideline.
They've tried to get him the football, just 0 receptions and not a lot of success running the ball.
Bailey to throw over the middle to his tight end, wide open, touchdown Wolfpack. Dante Daniels.
Well, look here on the left-hand side. You get Dante Daniels lined up in the offensive tackle position with the offensive tackle over on the other side. That confuses UNC's linebackers, not knowing who they're supposed to cover. These unbalanced line of scrimmages to create mismatches. Great job and great plan by Robert Anae to get his tight end open for a touchdown.
It's Dante Daniels' first touchdown of the season on just his third catch of the season. It's big, though. We're all tied up here in Chapel Hill.
And they made their correct adjustments, and it showed on the field and the scoreboard.
McCollum got blockers in front of him. Just a little bit of a gap. Good starting field position for the Heels as the kicker, Colin Smith, had to force him out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Coley, what's going on?
Well, guys, I've got some bad news for North Carolina State fans. Strong safety Bishop Fitzgerald is now also out for the game with an upper body injury. He joins cornerback Brandon Cisse, who we also noted earlier was now out of the game with an upper body injury himself. So the Wolfpack are now down multiple starters in their secondary. Their nickel cornerback, Tamarcus Cooley, was actually just doing some wind sprints here on the sideline to see if he could get back in the game. He is going to head back in, so that is one bit of promising news for the Wolfpack secondary.
Yeah, that's good. Bishop Fitzgerald, they nickname him the Sheriff. He gets everybody lined up in the right spot, so we'll see if that affects NC State. Here is downfield, caught! Once again, it's Culliver!
Wow. What a play. And throw by Jacolby Criswell. We've seen him miss on a couple deep ones. That one was perfect.
Carolina wants to go quickly. Hampton down to the 10.
He comes off the play action and just does a great job of finding the open window, throwing off balance, hits his wide receiver in stride, and again, Chris Culliver has made a name for himself in this Carolina blue tonight.
96 yards on 2 catches for Culliver, one of them that 50-yard touchdown strike.
Officials timeout. The chains are broken.
Trying to move the chains too quickly to keep up with this Carolina passing attack now. Can you believe I'm saying that?
I know. And
this non-existent passing attack for both teams in the first half. Now all of a sudden they're lighting it up.
I mean, it really has been. It's the big shots, the big plays, and it all started with Omarion Hampton's big run, right? I mean, their offense was sputtering, and then on that drive where DK Kaufman overplayed the wide receivers and left no one there defensively, Omarion Hampton took advantage, and then it's just been strike after strike for UNC's offense.
Direct snap to Hampton. Powers his way forward for a handful. Coley, what's going on?
Well, Mark was just talking about. I'll hold on. Let's see what happens on this play here.
No flags are happening. As a Carolina offensive lineman got his helmet knocked off.
Yeah, and you got to remember that all 11 players on the field before had gotten unsportsmanlike conducts.
It was Ja'Kiah Leftwich, who now trots off the field because his helmet came off.
And to make note, too, that unsportsmanlike conduct for the 22 players on the field was when NC State was on offense and UNC was on defense. Looks like no flags are thrown.
Bodies just got tangled up. Third down. Crowd doesn't like it. Criswell, though, is going to throw. He can run it. He's going to have to throw it away. Crowd continues to show their displeasure at the lack of a call on the play before. Although I don't think it was overly egregious, Mark.
No, I don't either, and I think it's good to let that play go. And
players got tangled up. It'll lead to a Noah Burnett field goal try. 25 yards. The operation is solid. The kick, though, off the upright and through.
Oh, boy. It has not been a routine day for Noah Burnett.
Going to give 73-year-old Mack Brown a heart attack over there. He's still wanting a call on Jacolby Criswell's helmet falling off.
We've seen Noah Burnett miss a field goal, miss an extra point, and that was about 4 inches away from doinking the other way. Hughes game, Kyle McCord already has 330 yards passing and 3 touchdowns at the start of the 4th quarter.
Kaufman. He's come close today. Gets it out beyond the 30. Good field position for this Wolfpack offense to start this drive. We mentioned Bailey only had 3 completions in the first half. He has 4 in this second half for 78 yards and a touchdown. 4 for 5 passing. There's a look at Kaufman, who returned that kick in need of some medical attention on the NC State sideline. Another member of that secondary who was banged up. Kaufman's a starting safety for them. Smothers cuts it inside. Now back outside. Midfield and more. Jakeen Harris forced him out of bounds, but 21 yards. Hollywood Smothers is picking up yards in chunks here in the second half.
And these offensive lines for both teams are starting to lean on the defensive fronts a little bit. And that's probably one of the largest gaps that Hollywood Smothers has been able to run through today. Behind that big left side, Anthony Belton and Anthony Carter Jr.
Smothers from Charlotte started his college career at Oklahoma before transferring here in the offseason. Part of this 3-headed monster at tailback for the Wolfpack. Bailey avoids the rush. Now has a receiver wide open. That's Concepcion. Juggles it at first, but corrals it and takes it down to the 27.
Good job avoiding the pressure from Bo Atkinson and just finding KC Concepcion. That's KC Concepcion's first catch of the game. That one goes for 21 yards, and they've been able to work offensively really without their star player being involved.
The man who dominated this game last year in Raleigh.
And now he's at quarterback.
He'll run up the middle. Ankle tackle, drops him after about a 5-yard gain. Power Eccles grabbed that ankle.
We talked to Dave Doeren just about KC Concepcion, and after you're just having an all-world freshman year last year, all ACC rookie of the year, just hasn't been as productive this year. And he said, it's frustrating. I mean, he's a competitor. He wants to get the touches. He wants to get the yards and the scores and the touchdowns. Teams have just been locked on to where number 10 is. Good to see them get him involved in this drive.
Bailey to throw. Now he's going to run. Cuts it back inside, close to the first down. Looks like he's going to pick it up. Stick Lane with the tackle. Bailey again shows his effectiveness as a runner when the play breaks down. 6'6", 210 pounds. Think about him as a runner as he puts on about 15, maybe 20 pounds.
Yeah, he's going to put on some weight, and he should. And I think that's just a product of, look, you get here, you're not supposed to be the starter at the beginning of the year. You got to develop you over the process of the season. Gets thrown in there, and I love that decision that he made of taking that ball, pulling it down and running, because he was going to force it into a window.
Timeout. NC State. Their first time out of the half.
And
30-second timeout.
Rather than forcing that throw in and potentially having a tip ball or a turnover down in the red zone, he just holds it and carries himself. And I think that's a mature play by a young player, understanding the situation of the game and using his legs and just taking the safe out rather than forcing it in there.
Couldn't get everybody lined up in the right spot on that play, so NC State calling a timeout. Coley, what's going on?
Well, as you guys are talking about the growth of C.J. Bailey, both literally in terms of getting bigger, also his leadership, that was something that we talked with head coach Dave Doeren about earlier this week. I also spoke with defensive coordinator Davin Vann about the leadership that he's witnessed from C.J. Bailey this year, and he said he doesn't act like a shy young player anymore. He says that Bailey is quick to hold players accountable, and they might need that right here.
Smothers bounces it outside, but North Carolina's there with the pursuit. They ride him all the way out of bounds. Joey's coming in there looking for his teammate in a sea of Carolina blue.
Yeah, this is where they got to be careful. Anytime NC State's offense is on the field and UNC's defense on the field, every single player has one strike against him. You can't get another one, or you'll be disqualified from the game. Just a really good play of pursuit from UNC. Everything seemed clean. No one's helping him up, which is fine.
Look at Mack Brown trying to get in there to break everything up. Keep everything copacetic. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10. Bailey to throw. Carolina brings just 4. Now the pocket breaks down. He'll run inside, sliding inside the 15. Let's see where they mark him. They'll mark him all the way back where the slide began at the 13. And it'll bring up 3rd down and about 6. This Carolina defense has been great on 3rd down. Wolfpack have converted just 1 of 7 on the day. Bailey to throw. Going to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Wolfpack. It was just a matter of time before KC Concepcion put a stamp on this game.
Well, they got the matchup they want, and KC Concepcion at the number 3 receiver spot just beats his man. So he gets the matchup one-on-one, gets that quick inside jab step. He's playing against Caleb Cost, the nickel. And the offensive line allows for enough time for C.J. Bailey to get that ball out in front for an easy touchdown to their top player.
Big PAT here for Vineset.
Oh, no.
And no good. Kicked that one right into the backside of the center. And the lead is 3. Dave Doeren can't believe it. That's Vineset's first PAT miss of the season. Earlier we saw Burnett, and now Vineset.
Yeah, and let's see, the ball gets down, the snap there. Oh, and the holder drops it. It slips out of his hands. Yeah.
Just slipped right out of his hands. We got a good one here. 8:01 left to go. NC State just scored, missed the extra point though, so the lead is 3. And these teams have answered each other all second half long. What will North Carolina do for an answer here? Short kick. And the Heels will start at their own 27. Coming up tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern on the ACC Network. Rivalry weekend is capped off with the 106th Commonwealth Cup between Virginia and Virginia Tech. Winner of that game is bowl eligible. If NC State can hang on here, they're bowl eligible. And if Miami can somehow find a way to win in Syracuse, they're going to the ACC championship game. But it is far from a foregone conclusion now. 35-all. You had a feeling that game was going to be a shootout with those two quarterbacks and those two offenses. And it's exactly what it is right now. We've suddenly found ourselves in a shootout after the first half was really slow here between these two rivals. The offenses have really picked it up in the second half. North Carolina gets about a yard with Caleb Hood on first down.
Yeah, Caleb Hood taking the direct snap, and he's playing today. They're going to redshirt him, but he had one game left before his eligibility ran up, so let's use it tonight. See his versatility in there.
Giving Hampton one more play on that break. Now Hampton's back in there. Criswell to throw, pressure up the middle. Gets it away nicely. Copenhaver spins. Marshall on the tackle, gets 4. This is a big third down in this game. I don't think Mack Brown wants to throw his defense right back out there the way North Carolina State's been playing offensively with a 3 and out here. Criswell to throw quickly. Incomplete. Knocked away by Jackson Vick.
It's just a really, really good play by Jackson Vick. He's playing in the place of Brandon Cisse, who's injured, and Jackson Vick understands, look, I am man-to-man. The safety is going to be leaning away from me. He let that route develop and got that left hand right in there. Perfect coverage by Jackson Vick. That is a big play for this Wolfpack defense.
And covering North Carolina's top receiver in J.J. Jones. Now McGinnis. Shorter kick. Takes again a North Carolina bounce. That has benefited both of these punters on the day. And this time McGinnis gets it inside the 20. 48 yards on the kick. Nothing on the return. And NC State now with a 3-point lead at the 6.5-minute mark will take over on offense. Told you about Virginia Tech tonight at 8 o'clock on the ACC Network. Big one in the SEC, big one in the Big 12 as well tonight on ABC and ESPN respectively.
NC State made a conscious effort to get Casey Concepcion involved in the last drive. Let's see if they go back to him on this one.
Raphael. Flag down right at the point of attack as Raphael is going to get 2.
Personal foul, illegal hands to the face, defense number 6, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's a big one going against Joshua Harris.
Joshua Harris has had a phenomenal night. Consistently getting in the backfield, disrupting plays. That time he got his hands up in the face mask. And look in the middle of the screen, you see he's working there right on the guard, and you see he grabs the face mask with the left hand. And a lot of times you see it when it gets up under the face mask. That one was a grab, and good call by the officials.
Only the second penalty against the Heels here in the second half, but it moves the ball all the way out to the 37-yard line. Bailey the fake to Raphael. Gonna go up top. Has a receiver wide open. Collins makes the catch. Avoids the defender down to the 20. Marcus Allen eventually brought down to Kari Collins, but it's another big game in the passing game for NC State.
Well, they hit their man again, and big play after big play, and you see Dakari Collins at the top of your screen. Good inside move, kind of fake the slant, and then a double move. And he's hit right in stride right before the safety gets over there. Good pass and good patience by C.J. Bailey.
Now 3 catches for 62 yards on the game for Collins. The give to Raphael. Stretches it to the outside, inside the 10, before being driven out of bounds at the 7.
Well, we saw the drive where it was Hollywood Smothers featured. Now it's Kendrick Raphael, and having this utility backfield where you have a bunch of guys you can rotate in just gets fresh legs in the game in the 4th quarter, and that's what you're seeing with this effort from these running backs setting up this play action pass downfield. Really impressed with what Robert Anae's offense has been able to do in this 4th quarter.
Clock inside of 5. 1st and goal. Bailey, he's got Raphael in front of him as a blocker. Cuts it inside, down to the 3. Caleb Cost making the tackle from his safety spot.
When you can implement the quarterback run game, and that was, kind of a quarterback power with a pulling guard, you just get one more blocker, then you can have defenders. It allows you to split your wide receivers out wide, thin the box up, and get downhill for a big gain.
2nd down and goal. It's a gut check for this North Carolina defense.
Look at this formation. Wing T.
Raphael gonna be wrapped up. Loss of 2.
Travis Shaw, number 4, lines up directly over the center and blows this play up. Watch here from the high end zone. Watch right over the center. He just walks back Zeke Correll, the transfer from Notre Dame, and blows that play up in the backfield. That is a massive, massive TFL for this UNC team. And now it is 3rd down and goal from the 5-yard line.
Desmond Evans hobbling a little bit on the field.
Hey,
Time
you
to
notice
suck
that,
it up.
run right at him.
Bailey's going to throw it. And he gets sacked. Omarion Campbell got him to drop the freshman quarterback, and it's 4th down.
And we saw Desmond Evans limping around, and as we show this replay, he's going to be right behind the left goalpost. He penetrates through, forcing C.J. Bailey to get off his spot, and great secondary contained by Omarion Campbell, coming up and not missing the layup. 2 negative plays back-to-back forced the field goal for NC State.
Vincent is on to attempt a 28-yard field goal. And it's good. NC State has now scored on all 5 of their 2nd half possessions, and the field goal extends that advantage to 6 for Dave Doeren and his Wolfpack with 2:37 to play.
And how about the explosive nature of these offenses in the 2nd half? We talked about it. 1st half, it was just defense, defense, defense. And then the 2nd half has been big play after big play after big play. And how about the composure and poise of that young man, C.J. Bailey, the true freshman out of Chaminade Madonna in Miami, Florida. Welcome to rivalry week, young man. And he had...
Colin Smith will put a foot to it.
Play a game, kicking team. 5-yard penalty.
Well, why not? We've seen just about everything else in this game. That's not something you never see that.
No, this was a rule that was put into play a few years ago to help make the game shorter, where you have a play clock between the scoring of the touchdown or the extra point and the kickoff, and just took too much time.
And Colin Smith doesn't give very many opportunities for the return, but on a windy night, he's kicking into the wind in this direction. Now he's got to do it from 5 yards back.
And they popped the last one up because they were scared of a Nate McCullum return.
Drives this one into the end zone. What a weapon. It'll be a touchback for this North Carolina team. 2:37. Like his counterpart on the other side, Jacolby Criswell rather, has really had himself a good second half as well.
Yeah, he has. And 202 yards passing on the day and 2 touchdowns. But it's been the explosive plays. And you talk about on the receiving end, Chris Culliver has had a phenomenal second half of this football game as well, providing 2 big sparks for this team. I would not be surprised if they go back to Omarion Hampton early in this drive.
Delayed handoff here to Hampton. That's why they do. Picked up 9 yards. Let's see where they mark it. They may move the sticks. Nope, just a little bit shy, about 9.5. Carolina has all 3 timeouts still on the board. And a 2-minute timeout. Again to Hampton. Stiff arms a defender. Down the sideline. And he didn't step out of bounds. They'll mark him all the way down at the 38. We have an injured player on the field. That's why we have the timeout. Look at the feet. No. What do you think, Mark? I don't think he went out of bounds at all.
Yeah, that right foot gets close right here, but very difficult to tell and almost impossible to overturn conclusively. I mean, it just is almost impossible for someone that big and that physical to be that agile and that nimble on his feet.
Take another look at it. Now they've changed the spot. They've moved it back to the 47-yard line. So about 9 yards.
On the field, the runner stepped out of bounds at the 47-yard line. First down.
Still first down. All kinds of time left on the clock. Let's not forget we have the 2-minute timeout. Let's see if North Carolina wants to snap it here for one play before. They're all lined up. I would imagine they would. They won't get there. Two-minute timeout in Chapel Hill. NC State with the lead. North Carolina driving.
2-minute timeout.
It's left to play in NC State territory. Criswell to throw. The shovel pass to Hampton. Wide open. 30, 20, 10. Touchdown Tar Heels.
Well, NC State knows there is one player that you need to stop in Carolina blue, number 28. Well, first half you did a good job. Second half, Omarion Hampton went off. I love the play call by Chip Lindsey. We haven't seen the shovel pass all night.
Burnett's PAT gives North Carolina and Mack Brown the lead with 1:51 remaining. Hampton 235 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns as his brilliant career here at North Carolina continues.
There's speculation about what Omarion Hampton is going to do next year, but with the season that he's had and his coach leaving, you got to imagine that he has his sights set on the NFL.
I mean, the punishment he takes week in and week out. He's the bell cow. You know he's going to touch it 25 times, 30 times in a game. Doesn't mind it.
Yeah, and I don't know what coming back for another year would do for him. I mean, his stock is as high as it could possibly be. And how about that? I mean, just the way that you finish off your career at UNC, and He's one of those guys that grew up in this system, didn't transfer in, was a North Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year in high school. And he's been in the backfield with a bunch of great running backs, and this has been a phenomenal year for Omarion Hampton. And what a game we have here. NC State down 1 point in enemy territory with the ball. Under 2 minutes left to go.
And you could see Coach Doeren at NC State throughout Doeren's entire tenure at NC State, and this year in particular, 5 one-score games. They've won 2 of them. They're going to need to make that 3 if they're going to want to go bowling this year.
Remember that bulletin board material that Mack Brown pulled out at halftime to show his players. Dave Doeren, after last year's game, said UNC hadn't beat them in over 1,900 days.
But NC State's got a star of their own in Casey Concepcion, and Bailey goes right to him on first down. Carolina brings 4. Smothers out of the backfield, picks up about 7. NC State's got 2 timeouts on the board. They've got a kicker with a big leg. Colin Smith just missed that 58-yarder in Atlanta against the Yellow Jackets last week. Jolie with the first down.
It's a great pass right there by C.J. Bailey out to his tight end Jolie, and Jolie able to get out of bounds. And you're sitting there with 2 timeouts left on the clock. You don't want to waste them as you're kind of getting these little chunk plays downfield. If you hit a big one, then maybe you call a timeout to try to regroup and save some time. But right now, continue on with what you're doing. Work the sideline. Whole playbook's open.
Bailey to throw. Has time. Now he scrambles. Flag in the backfield. Bailey gets brought down at the 45.
Bailey with the scramble. There is a flag on the play.
Holding, offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Call goes against Jacarius Peak, Mark.
Yeah, but that's what you cannot have. You holding penalties and sacks really kill 2-minute drives. And when you think about the clock stopping on a first down, that's such an important strategy to use in college football. And now the first down is so much farther away, 20 yards before you can stop the clock naturally in this game.
First and 20. Bailey's going to go up top.
What?
It's caught!
No way!
Noah Rogers!
I cannot believe he came down with that football in double coverage. You see Will Hardy coming over from the safety position, and Noah Rogers, the transfer from Ohio State, just goes up and takes it away.
Now Kendrick Raphael. North Carolina has 3 timeouts on the board, and now North Carolina is going to have to start burning those.
Illegal substitution, more than 11 players on the field. Defense, 5-yard penalty. Replay first down. The game clock will start on the snap.
Yeah, Carolina's going to have to burn timeouts here, Mark.
Wow.
Noah Rogers, the former #1 high school player in the States back in the class of 2022, started at Ohio State, then transferred back home.
I mean, that ball is perfectly thrown by C.J. Bailey, but how about when the ball's in the air? You got to imagine what's going through Noah Rogers' head. He understands if I make this catch, we could possibly win this game. He comes down clutch.
Smothers bounces it outside. Wants to stay in bounds. Wants to get to the end zone, though. Stays in bounds, and the clock continues to run out at the 3.
Yeah, and UNC should have let him score. I mean, on that play, if UNC let him get in the end zone, you got a chance to get the ball back. But now NC State can just take a knee and kick a game-winning field goal, and that's that's the kind of strategy that you don't ever want to employ. But defensively, your only shot could be letting him score and trying to drive back down the field and score yourself.
You see Jeff Collins there barking instructions to his defense. They're going to have to tackle this football.
Ruling on the field. The runner made the line of gain. Is out of bounds at the 2-yard line. First down. Timeout. NC State.
Well, if NC State does run a play,
Their second timeout.
UNC should let them score.
Yep.
NC State should not run a play. NC State should take a knee.
Timeout, knee, timeout, knee, timeout.
And then kick the field goal to win the
Please
game.
reset the game clock to 30 seconds. 30 seconds on the game clock.
But with that first down pickup, NC State can just run out the clock and kick that field goal to win.
Or would you rather just score a touchdown and not have to deal with what we saw on the PAT when the holder just dropped the ball and Vinestead kicked it into the backside of his center? I mean, it can't happen.
Look, that can happen, obviously. And then also, too, you could potentially score a touchdown and UNC could drive down the end of the rest of the field. But if you're UNC, you cannot count on a missed field goal. I mean, this offense is lining up right here. If I'm UNC defensively, I'm letting NC State score a touchdown here to just potentially give us a chance to have the ball back.
Bailey's going to give it to Smothers, and he's going to score. What a game. NC State has fought all the way back. Hollywood Smothers scores again. Third lead change of the fourth quarter in this contest. NC State's going to go for Dos. Brought to you by Dos Equis. To make it a 7-point lead. Look at this formation.
Little muddle huddle. Count the numbers.
Bailey's going to roll. Pressure up the middle. He's just going to have to throw it away. So the lead is 5 with 25 seconds remaining.
And 30 seconds ago, North Carolina had no shot at winning this game.
Smith boots it away. McCollum will have a shot. And he gets dropped at the 17. Beautiful coverage on the kickoff return team. The coverage team, rather, for NC State. And a big hug for Rente Hinton, and for good reason. That just made it that much more difficult for North Carolina.
You got 21 seconds, 83 yards to go. You need a touchdown. If you score, you win. You got to imagine NC State's going to play some soft zone coverage.
They've got their two safeties 20 yards off the line of scrimmage. Criswell underneath. Hampton's got to make something happen. Gets it out to the 33 with 15 to go.
Still 3 timeouts.
Imagine North Carolina just wants to get this ball to midfield so they have a shot to get a pass to the end zone on the final play. Probably have a couple of plays to get it there with those timeouts. Criswell to throw. NC State brings just 3. Dropped. And it's just as well. It wouldn't have done much for him.
And right now with 11 seconds left, the clock really doesn't matter, because meaning the timeouts don't matter. You're going to run out of time before you get the number of plays and timeouts called. So yeah, you want to continue to work downfield, but you can't just throw checkdowns. You got to get some chunk plays here. Doesn't matter if they're middle of field or towards the sideline. You need to pick up chunk yards.
Pressure. Sacked.
And you can't give up a sack.
Jackson Vick. What a game this young man has had. With Brandon Cisse out, Jackson Vick.
Their first time out of the half.
From that cornerback spot.
See Jackson Vick with the late corner pressure. It's just a really good call by Tony Gibson. He has at times brought the house, at times dropped everybody. That time it looked like he was dropping everybody with a simulated pressure coming late from his cornerback Jackson Vick, and took down Criswell. And with 6 seconds left, you have a possibility of having 2 more plays. You have to have a quick hitter to try to get you in position to take that Hail Mary. And then if you don't get in range for where you think your quarterback can actually reach the end zone, that's when you start seeing the hook and ladders and the backwards
passes. Please reset
passes.
the game clock to 7 seconds. 7 seconds on the game clock. Thank you.
How about this? For the waiver, Mack Brown to end his career with a thriller in Chapel Hill.
Criswell to throw. Now the pitches. Back over here to Hampton. He's got some blockers in front of him, but he's got to get moving. This will be the final play of the game. And that's how it'll end. NC State wins for the 4th time in this great rivalry. 4th straight time. And